time to his jail sentence. So the few moments of freedom that he has right now, he's actually buying more time in jail. So it's something that we hope that people will keep in mind, because we do have these things far too frequently, and they're putting so many people in danger.
Yeah, we always shake our heads when we see it. There, you know, they've got authorities overhead, flying up in the sky with Marcono, and on the ground, multiple units behind this box truck. Mark, if we could bring you back into the conversation again, you've been on this for quite some time now. We've seen this driver go through Santa Clarita, Newhall Pass, Sun Valley, Burbank, Glendale, really without even hitting the brakes much, because it's been open road for the most part on the 5 South.
Yeah, very few opportunities for this guy to hit the brakes, and that certainly plays into his favor, doesn't it, Jessica? Here we go. Southbound side of the 5, he's just coming up on Fletcher Drive, so he is coming through essentially Los Feliz, Silver Lake, and Atwater Village. Fletcher Drive is just going to be coming up on his right, and beyond that, we're talking about the 2 freeway here. Looking ahead a couple of miles past the 2 over towards the 110 freeway, if he continues southbound on the 5, and that certainly looks like what he's going to do, it's going to be smooth sailing, in other words. So we're talking about conditions that are fairly light on the southbound side of the 5, at least as he heads over towards the 110. It looks like there may be a little bit of slowing beyond the 110 as he makes his way down towards East LA. But this guy, for the most part, it has been smooth sailing from the moment that we first put up this picture on the air, first on 5. Pursuit of this stolen vehicle suspect southbound on the 5. Now, we have not seen it. This guy change freeways. He's been on the 5 freeway for the most part of the pursuit that we've been watching him, and so he has just crossed onto the 2. He's going to have an option for Stadium Way and down towards the 110 freeway, but it looks like this guy just wants to continue on that 5 freeway southbound. He's taking up residence on the number 1 lane. Again, traffic conditions very light. We have several helicopters overhead. We have an LA County Sheriff's airship that is closely monitoring this guy's situation as well. If we pull to a slightly wider shot, we can see how many units are behind him. I have at least 4 cruisers and 1 motor officer who is in pursuit of this guy, and it looks like as he makes his way farther south, he kind of picks up additional officers who are joining into pursuit here at some distance, mind you, but I mean there are several officers who are going to be ready to take this guy into custody once he decides to give up, and whether he does so voluntarily or not, we certainly hope that this comes to a peaceful end. But so far, number 1 lane southbound on the 5, it looks like he's going to pass up the opportunity to take the 110 freeway, so we're going to continue southbound on the 5. We're coming through Frogtown and over towards the 110 freeway through kind of say LaSalle Park, through Highland Park, Mount Washington, as we continue south in towards the East LA area here. Now, looking past the 110, it does slow down just a little bit. He is going to be able to maneuver as he needs to, at least until he gets down to the 10, and I can see just a little bit of slowing down over towards the 10 freeway as he makes his way towards East LA. But so far, no signs of slowing down, no signs of stopping, no signs of giving up. This guy is resisting all attempts by the officers to get this guy to stop peacefully, and so we will see if it becomes a situation where, you know, maybe his vehicle breaks down. Does he decide to give up on his own? We just don't know at this point, but we will monitor this situation as long as we need to see that this hopefully comes to a peaceful end.
Well, typically as he's approaching the 10 freeway here, it does slow down quite a bit, and sometimes it slows down very abruptly, and then if he happens to get through that, decides not to get onto the 10 and stay on the 5 freeway, then it will most likely slow down quite a bit as you get south of the 60 and all of that. So there will be opportunities, at least, for the CHP to take dynamic action if they want to do something with this truck. But we had Officer Manzano on with this earlier from CHP. He was saying with a truck like this that poses special challenges, could be quite dangerous. Not sure that they would do a pit maneuver. So Mark, you're right. They might just hope for the best here and hope that this guy gives up. It looks like we're approaching that 10 freeway and that slowdown that I just talked about.
Exactly, Frank, and you called it. Southbound side of the 5 freeway, just coming up on Mission Road, where he still, I suppose, has an opportunity to get off the freeway here. Should he choose to stay on the 5 freeway, he is going to be encountering a lot of slowing here. In other words, it's going to slow down really fast and really abruptly for him over the course of the next, say, half a mile. In fact, he's kind of making maneuvers over to the left-hand lanes there, but he is going to be nearly stopped at this point as he comes up on the next couple of 100 yards. Traffic is slow, very slow, at least for a quarter to a half a mile on the southbound side of the 5. You see he's entering that traffic area right now. and we'll see what he does. I mean, as we've seen before, he has gone onto the shoulders to avoid some of the slower traffic. Whether or not he will be able to do so here, look at that. Okay, so he's making a pretty aggressive maneuver off to the right. He's coming up on another box truck a little bit larger. He's coming up on a trash truck there. Again, southbound side of the 5. He's just crossing over the 10 freeway transition right there, and he is in some heavy traffic here, and he is going to be in heavy traffic for at least the next half a mile here. So let's see how he kind of maneuvers his way through.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so he is off the freeway. He is off the freeway. He is in the gore point. You know what? Okay, I think he's going to be boxed in here. He's coming up on
whoa, look
the
at that.
wall there and the K-rail, and let's see what he did.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to smash
the
K-rail.
Oh, they're running.
My gosh. Okay, so he is taken to foot here, and we'll see if we can spot him.
He's running.
You've got him right in the middle of your frame.
Yeah, there he is right in the middle of the shot, kind of making his way up the embankment here. This is going to be right alongside the southbound side of the 5. The cars that you saw him on the transition road was the westbound side of the 10 to the south 5 transition road, and now that is stopped. Okay, gotcha. And they are now going to be pursuing this guy on foot, so hopefully they will be able to catch up to this guy here. He is on the street. He is on the sidewalk. He's making his way up this neighborhood street here, and I can tell you that the CHP, as well as the LA County Sheriff's Department, they are overhead, and they are watching this guy's position here. So now he is actually making it easier for the cops to catch up to him because he is now behind that Jeep Cherokee here. So we'll see what happens over the course of the next couple of minutes. Go ahead, Frank.
I think he's trying to
blend in,
pretend,
if you will.
right? Blend in, pretend like he's not the suspect that was running. He took his hat off, but I believe an officer has just come up on him because he is putting his. Well, maybe not. It looked like he was putting his hands up as if he was about to be arrested. Now he's just rolled over and he's lying down next to that the Jeep, but he threw his hat into the garbage can there as if he was trying to blend in and seem as if he was from the neighborhood as opposed to running through the neighborhood. Now he's just rolled over as if he's taking a nap or something. He's got his hands out. His hands are visible. If officers are approaching, that's one thing they'll want to see is to make sure that they see his hands.
There you go.
In fact, that's what they were telling him. We have an officer right now on top of him, and it looks like they're about to effect an arrest.
It's amazing how quickly they got to this guy, too, because I've never seen anything like that, pulled off the freeway, was able to jump out the passenger side as quickly as he stopped that box truck, almost ran through those pylons of the side of the freeway, and then up an embankment into a neighborhood, and officers were there within the minute. And now it looks like they've got this guy.
That's right. Mark, guys, we are on Boyle Avenue, right near the intersection of Bridge Street, right alongside the 5 freeway here, and that is where this guy has been taken into custody here. The quick work of the CHP, man, oh man, but they were able to get to this guy. It looks like these CHP officers actually came off the freeway behind the box truck, and they approached this guy on foot, so they were actually chasing this guy on foot before they came into the neighborhood here, and they were likely directed by that CHP and Sheriff's Department helicopter before they were able to take him into custody here. So again, Boyle Avenue, right at Bridge Street. It looks like this pursuit is going to come to an end. That box truck that you see here is still straddled up against that K-rail here. That K-rail is now damaged, but it looks like this is going to be a code 4. This guy is being taken into custody, and that is certainly some good news.
Outstanding. Good to see the person in custody. We hate when someone is putting the public at risk. That person has been taken into custody at 10 o'clock.
Yes, Mark Kona, we appreciate